Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Peter Tobler from Auctions in Vienna. Our title already states the best gun of the world, over and under. So now we're going to talk about this one. There's always the discussion talking about best guns, British guns, James Purdy and Sons and others. So we're talking about over and under. Think about the history of over and under guns. It started with double guns, switching the barrels over and under, having the benefit in the shooting is one straight line, not thinking about the left to right, but just on the purpose, well, how far is your target away from you? It's getting closer to you or it's getting far outside. And today, over and under shotguns are maybe the most preferred ones to say. What doesn't mean that they're the best ones, but in the line of over and under shotguns, there are some of them that are great, and there's one supposed to be the best. In the history, we have some nice items like Beretta did with their SO series, very sportive and competition system, creating their siding locking and cocking mechanism. Very reliable, good for sport shooting. We have also objects that are not that common in a collecting state, like the German system, typically with their huge mechanism at the cast and bolt system, the cast and locking system. It's rocked, it's really sturdy, durable, massive, good for the hunting. It's not that fine and not that thing of a collectible like one would state when it comes to high and peak performance and quality as well as beauty of our one. Still, we're talking about sidelocks. So the question is, in fact, will there a sidelock be the best way how to treat an over-under shotgun? Because, as well as box lock or trigger plate action, you can work in a different way, like Perazzi is doing it. And we're getting close now to the point what we're talking about. Because Perazzi shares one part of the history when we talk about the best over-under shotgun of the world. Because actually it started with Perazzi, not the MX-12, but the MX-8 series. So we get to the point. The best over-under shotgun of the world at the time right now. We are talking about nothing less than fine Brescia-made Ivo Fabbri. The massive system that is created by Ivo Fabbri up to perfection level in the modern style of a pinless Ivo Fabbri. So Fabbri started in the car business, so he was an engineer for Fiat. So he came from car industry and went into gun business and worked out the Perazzi that managed to win the world championship back then. Ivo Fabbri himself had absolute creative ideas and also the approach to have a perfect system. So this is why he started with Perazzi, made a very successful model, but he went on and said, like, I want to do everything on my own. I want to do everything in a perfect way. And this is what came up with his own business in the early 60s. I think 64 he started his company. And they were producing over-under shotguns as well as side-by-side shotguns, side locks, perfect shape. And what we're thinking about Fabbri and why we say it's the best shotgun, we always have the discussion, what's the perfect system, how to manage the cocking loading mechanism, how to manage the stock. Typically for Italian shotguns, you're going to have a pistol grip. When it comes to Fabbri, the overall thing is that every time we talk about Fabbri, we talk about perfection in every detail. So this means when they create something, their absolute goal is to create the best of each type. Meaning the materials used, the way how to create it, the approvals and the definition of every part, all together with the durability and the results when you're shooting it. We talk about Fabbri, they call themselves, likewise in this scenario, with the new system, Fabbri Indestructible Barrels. They started, I think, with a Böhler Blitz, so they used barrels they bought. Now they're creating their own. It's a very modern technique used from aerospace. We talk about arc resoldering, arc remelting steel done in vacuum. So we put it together, and here we have it all together. When you check out a Fabbri, you will see there are some details that come typically, like the finish in front here, the typical way how Fabbri is creating them. The overall grip is a little bit bigger than some of the English types maybe, compared to a Boss, especially with the pistol grip. But whenever you have the chance to get one of these in your hands, it is a perfect feeling. Some of the best engravers of the world have worked with them. The cooperation started with some basic engravers that worked a long period. Now it's a peak performance part. So they had a lot of jobs done by Tomassoni and created also engravings with Pedersoli, as far as I remember, Medici, for example. Here we talk about a new modern style, perfectly engraved by creative Art Fausti. So it's the best of Brescia, a wonderful shotgun at the peak performance one can have when talking about an over-under shotgun. Used for sporter, safety deactivated, and in a perfect alignment. When you have it in your hands, you will feel it. This is one of the absolute highlights every time at our auction we can offer. And in my opinion, while we're talking about the best shotgun over 100 in the world, the overall making process, the way how they create it, how much they go into the detail, how durable they are, even on the same level as how rare they are, how fine they are created, and how much time and intensity they take in all the finishing of every single part, every single screw, every material used. I mean, consider having here a 20-year-old shotgun already shot, looking like new out of the factory. It has been refinished a little bit by Fabbri themselves. Wonderful. This is an absolute amazing part, and that's why we call it the best over-under shotguns of the world. Ivo Fabbri in Brescia.